This video is basically a movie review of a film which I have recently watched named Tallulah. This movie was released in 2016, directed by Sean Heder. The protagonist of the movie is Ellen Page, which I was very excited to watch because she has also starred in a movie called Juno, which I extremely loved. So, the girl in the movie, Tallulah, she is homeless. Her parents had left her when she was a child. She lives in a van along with her boyfriend, who has also left her mother. So, they were practically good together because they didn't want to live with their parents and didn't have a place to confide. So one day, Tallulah and Nick, they were having a conversation where Tallulah mentions that she wants to travel the world and drive to India and just explore the world. But Nick wanted to do something productive in his life, as he wanted to grow old, live in a good apartment, have children, get some good job, so that they can secure their future. But Tallulah, she was opposed to the fact, and she wanted Nick to live his life according to her. So they both got into a fight where Nick decided to leave her without saying goodbye. This made Tallulah very furious and upset. So she decided to go and visit Nick's mother, who lived in the city. So she drove her way to New York and found Nick's mother's apartment and managed her way to get into the apartment and have a talk with her. When Tallulah went up to see Nick's mother, they both have a conversation, and Tallulah mentions that her son has left her without any explanation, and he has even stolen some Tallulah's money. So her mother denies to give any money to Tallulah because she was unaware of the fact that her son had any girlfriend or he was close to a person. As she didn't receive any help from Nick's mother, she was very helpless. She didn't have any money to buy food or fill up gas in her van or stay somewhere. So she decides to get into a hotel where she would just steal the leftover food from the home service which is left outside the room. Tallulah was very surprised to see such strange, irresponsible behavior from a woman, but she was kind of attracted by the wealth she saw in the woman. She saw money lying around in the room, she saw expensive dresses, watches, so she decides to steal all the items. As the woman was drunk, she would hardly notice her money and her jewels were gone. So Tallulah spends the entire night taking care of the child. Eventually, she developed a bond with Tallulah. Eventually, developed a special bond with the child while she was taking care of her. The next morning, when the mother arrives, she was completely drunk and wasted. The hotel service had to bring her into the room, and when she arrived, she directly passed out in the bed. Tallulah decides to leave with all the cash she found on the counter and all the jewels she found on the counters. While she was leaving, she saw the child cry, which made her very upset. So she decides to take the child along with her. She was very confused what to do of the child. She didn't know anything to take care of a child. So she went straight up to Nick's mother, as she only knew her in the city. There she told his mother that she was the mother of the child and her son has betrayed her, and he decided to leave her while she was pregnant with his child. Nick's mother eventually believes her and decides to give her shelter for the night to Tallulah. She was very touched with the fact that her son had a daughter and had a child she didn't know about. So she thought in this way she could find out about her son and she would get attached to both of them. Tallulah tries her best to hide from the fact that she did a crime. She kidnapped a daughter from her mother's arm. She knew she did the wrong, but as she also developed feeling for the daughter, she couldn't give her up. By this time, the child's mother has also filed a complaint against Tallulah, and the police all over the city were trying to search Tallulah. At the end of the story, Tallulah had to give up the child and she gets arrested. From this movie, we can derive two perception. The first is Tallulah did the right thing by kidnapping the child, as she thought her mother was very irresponsible and an alcoholic. She was incapable of to take care of a child. On the other hand, Tallulah had no place to do such thing, to kidnap a child from her mother. It's a At the end of the day, it's just a crime, even if she has a good intentions towards it. With this, we can also see that as Cholula, she didn't have a place to confide her heart. She didn't receive much love from her parents or that motherly love. So when she finds a child with her, she develops a motherly love. So when she's with the child, she finds her capable to be a good mother. She finds a reason to survive in the world. As she didn't have any goal to her life earlier, she just wanted to wander around. But while she was taking care of the child, she developed the feeling for the child. She knew the true emotions she was feeling. So this might be one more reason that Tallulah didn't want to give up the child, and she wanted to keep on running from the authorities and have the child to herself. At the end, I would say that this is a very amazing movie for the people who doesn't have hope in their life, who thinks that they just want to live their life without any purpose, or if they have not received any love, so they are incapable of loving someone else. While Tallulah was stealing food, she comes across with a woman. She seemed to be very rich and might have drinking problem. She was also with a child, so the woman thought Tallulah was a room service, so she invited Tallulah inside her room and handed over her daughter to her to take care of her the entire night, because as she was going out to party.